Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. Today I want to make a quick video showing you guys how I basically mark my charts out every single morning and how I kind of determine like a bias. It's going to be a quick video. I think I've made a video similar to this recently, like where I talked about how I like set conditions and shit like that at the beginning of the day. But I kind of wanted to go through, give a couple of examples on FX Replay about how I kind of break down my analysis starting from top down, and then not like actual trade examples, but just kind of how I mark my charts and just kind of figure out my bias. So what I like to do is always start on the higher time frames to see if we have any like draws on the higher time frames that we're approaching. So right now you could see on this is October 2024. I just did a back testing video. I don't know when I'm releasing this, but you can see we're delivering out of this weekly gap. And you can see we have previous week's high, previous week's low as open draws, but we're really not near that right now, so I'm not marking those out. But you can see on the weekly, we really can just trade either way. It's really not a big, I don't really do much on the weekly unless, say we were super close to previous week's high or previous week's low, I'd have it marked, but I'm not going to mark it right now because it doesn't really seem relevant. I'm marking the things that are only like relevant for the session. Going over to the daily, okay, what do we have here and what can we notice? Daily had this strong push to the upside. We broke back down. What did we do though? We swept out the previous day high. Okay, so we swept out the previous day high. So that's something we don't have to worry about marking. Can you also mark the previous day low? Yeah, so you can mark out your previous day low because why? Because it's still an open draw on liquidity. So if price does want to dump down, it's still technically a valid draw. Okay, so next we swept out the previous day high. We have previous day low. So we could see we already had a pullback. We could see a continuation higher, or we could continue to flush down lower. We'll have to see. We'll break down the 4 hour and below, and then we'll go from there. So I start, like I said, on the weekly, I mark what's relevant. In this case, there's nothing relevant. We're not near previous week's high. We're not near previous week's low. We're not near any weekly highs or weekly lows. So I have nothing to mark out. Daily, I'd always mark out previous day high, previous day low, and then any relevant daily highs, daily lows. We have a daily low down here. I'm not going to mark that out because it's literally all the way down here. We have this daily high. I'm not going to mark it out for right now, but you know, if it becomes relevant later in the session, I might mark it out. Going over to the 4 hour. Okay, what do we have on the 4 hour? What do we notice? Price was delivering out of this 4 hour gap. We pushed above it. But what you really can notice is the 4 hour broke into an uptrend, right? We kind of had this higher high, higher low. So maybe we do anticipate a new higher high. But in terms of 4 hour gaps, what did we do? We inversed this 4 hour bullish gap to the downside. Okay. We after sweeping out previous day high, we came down, inverse that gap, and we're starting to show some recovery. But like in terms of the 4 hour, what do we have here? We don't really have any draws except for this high up here. We don't really have any 4 hour gaps. This 4 hour isn't closed yet, so we can't mark it out yet. So other than that, there's really nothing on this 4 hour chart to mark. But what can we notice again? Push to the upside. We broke structure to the upside. So we'll have to keep going down to the hourly to kind of form some more bias. Again, we're still technically delivering in this 4 hour gap, but it's really not that big of a deal. Okay. Going over to the 1 hour, this is where a lot of stuff gets formed. This is where you're going to be marking out your session highs, your session lows. This is really where the important stuff happens. Okay. So what happened? Price came down, as you could see this day. We consolidated, and then London opens up, dumps down, and we're starting to get some recovery. So what could we see? We could see London continuation lower, or we could see a New York reversal where we continue back to the upside. Okay. So what am I doing on this hourly? I'm going to mark my hourly draws. So we have London low right here. We have this low we could mark out right here. And then we just inverse this 1 hour gap, but I'm not really worried about this. I'm looking at this gap right here. We have a 1 hour gap right here. And then for buy side, we have this high right here. These relative equal highs. We have this high, and then we have this high right here. So these are all the draws that are pretty much relevant to us. We have this low right here, which was London low. We had this low right here, which was whatever session. I don't even know because I don't really look at this on FX Replay. But this session low right here, and we have previous day low. And what do we have for buy side? We have this unfilled 1 hour, very small gap. Then we have these highs, these highs, these highs. So what am I looking at right now? Breaking down from the top. Okay. The daily, we swept the previous day high. We had a retrace. 4 hour is in bullish structure, so we could see a continuation back up, or we could continue to flush down. I don't really have a strong bias at this point, but going over to the 1 hour, we had a strong shift to the downside. We're retracing, so if this downtrend kind of wants to continue, we go lower. If we kind of start trading higher and trading above this 1 hour gap, what am I looking for? Longs towards these highs up here. That's literally what I'm coming in with every day. I'm marking out the draws and I'm waiting for price to kind of push towards them, and I'm looking for a continuation. So I'm just going to let price play out here, and I'm going to show you guys what happens. Again, on the 15-minute, there's really nothing much going on, but let's see what happens here. Okay, so price right here, we edge this 1 hour gap. We sweep these internal highs right here. Okay, so let's see what wants to happen here. We'll press forward. Okay, really boring day today. Really boring day. Really nothing happened here. But I'm sure there was some type of lower time frame setup maybe you could have caught. But really nothing much on this day. But that's pretty much it, guys. You're just marking all of these relevant draws. You're just waiting for price to trade towards them, and then you're just looking to that's literally it. So we'll go to another day here. Okay, I'm going to go to the next day. Hopefully we get a better one. Okay. Again, the weekly, there's really nothing again to worry about on the weekly here. We go over to the daily. What do we have? We swept out previous day low. Okay, now what do we have available? Previous day high all the way up here. So I'm going to mark that out so you guys can see it. Previous day high. The daily is still kind of in bullish order flow. I really wouldn't put it into bearish order flow unless we start breaking below these lows over here. But that's pretty much all we have on the daily. Going over to the 4 hour, what do we have on the 4 hour? Price is now trading within this 4 hour bearish gap, but we're starting to break above it. So that's something to kind of watch. If you guys remember yesterday and the day before, whatever, we had this strong push, break of structure, this retrace. We tapped off that new filled 4 hour gap that we formed that I talked about would have to form after 10 a.m. And what did it do? It sent price lower. So now what are we doing? What do we have on the 4 hour? Well, we have this low right here. We could just mark this as well. Okay, we have this high right here. Going down to the hourly. Hourly's in bullish order flow, but we are trading within this bearish gap. What do we have here? We have this high right here and an unfilled 1 hour gap right here. Okay, so all I'm doing is just marking out draws. I'm saying if price trades higher, I'm looking for longs here. If price flips lower, I'm looking for trades into this unfilled gap. If we get a reaction off this gap, I'm looking for higher. If we trade through this gap, we could look for shorts. That's literally all I'm looking for. So I'm just marking everything out, and I'm waiting for price to give me confirmation towards that draw. So what are our draws in this case? For buy side, this high right here, this high right here. What do we have for sell side? We have this unfilled 1 hour gap right here. We have this low right here, and we have this low right here. Just give me one sec, guys. Okay. So again, all I'm waiting for is price to trade towards one, give me confirmation and displacement towards one of those draws, and then I'm just going to trade towards it. So I'm just going to play it forward on the 5-minute chart. I'm really not going to actually, let me press forward in 5-minute. So again, price starts moving up. As it starts displacing higher, what could you do? You could look for a continuation towards these highs right here. And I'm sure if I scale down, I could probably find some type of entry maybe. Maybe not on this day, but regardless, I'm sure most days you're going to be able to catch something. And like you could have taken, like, just for example, this displacement entry. You get this 3-minute displacement candle. Whatever, you tighten your stop, you could target here, 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 whatever. You see what I mean? It's really simple. Let me just keep pressing it forward really quick. Let's just see what happens. We sweep these highs out. Boom, continuations higher towards the previous day high. So you could have got in on this pullback right here at 1020 and then longed up towards previous day high maybe, or whatever. Like, I'm not giving entry examples here, but I'm just showing you guys. Again, I came into the day with no strict bias. I said the 4 hour was delivering out of this bearish gap, but we were starting to trade above it. 1 hour broke structure, was pulling back. We had an unfilled 1 hour gap. We had this low, we had this low. So if price wanted to confirm lower, I was looking for sells into here. If it traded past here, I'm looking for shorts down to here and here. But if we want to go higher, I'm looking for longs towards these highs. If we break above those highs, I'm looking for those highs. That's it. I don't have a bias. I don't have a bias, like, at all. I'm going to go through one more day for you guys, so hopefully we can get another good example. This one was a pretty clean example. Let's go over again to New York session. We'll start off again. So again, start at the weekly. Do we have anything on the weekly? Now, here's a good example for the weekly. What do we have right here? Previous week's low, and it made see how we have this relative equal high. It looks like we're going to probably take out this not previous week's low, previous week's high, sorry. But yeah, you see how we made, that's our relevant draw. So this is a strong draw on liquidity. Going over to the daily, what do we have? Okay, obviously this daily high, previous day high is also right there. So you could see, let me just kind of clean this up. Previous week's high, previous day high is literally right next to it. And then we have a previous day low all the way down there. You could also mark that out if you want. I kind of just do that just because it's a habit, but we have relative equal highs above with the previous week's high and the previous day high. We go down to so for me right now, I'm leaning more bullish for us to go at least take out those highs. 4 hours delivering off a 4-hour bullish gap. So that's another reason why I'm leaning more bullish, but I'm willing to trade either way still. Going over to the 1 hour, what do we see? The 1 hour is in bullish order flow. We kind of broke structure. We inverse this 1 hour gap. Now, what are we looking at here? We have this low we could mark out. This low we can mark out. No news, okay? And then, so our sell side draws are going to be this low right here, this low right here. Buy side is going to be the previous day high, previous week's high, and then if we break above that, we have this high right here. So again, same thing. Price trades higher. I'm looking for continuations here. If we displace past these highs, I'm looking for continuations here. If price comes up, sweeps that previous week's high, we get strong displacement down. I'm looking for shorts like that. If we start displacing lower here, I'm looking for shorts down to here. If we displace past here, I'm looking for shorts down to here. Literally it. So we'll press forward on the 5 minute, I'm just curious, want to see what happens here. Boom, we start displacing lower off open. This is going to be my most obvious draw right here. And price takes that draw out. Okay, from here, what do we expect? We took this low out, okay? I can seek either reversals back up if we get displacement to the upside, or I could seek, if price displaces past here, I'm looking for the next sell side draw, which is going to be this low down here. So let's go through, see what happens. We displace back up, boom, look for a continuation long somewhere in here. Again, I'm not looking through entry examples right now, but you could have looked for longs towards previous week's high. Now that we took out previous week's high, if it displaces past previous week's high, I'm looking for longs to this next draw. But if it sweeps previous week's high, we break back in, I'm looking for shorts back down, okay? Let's see what happens. Boom, we pull back, continuations, boom, you long this right here. And there you go, another trade, just for example. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm literally just marking, actually I'll go through one more. I'm gonna pause this video for 2 seconds. I'm gonna do one more, but I think you guys get the gist of it, but this is because this is pretty simple, but I'll be right back. I'll go through one more example. All right, let's go through this last example really quick. So as you can see here, weekly, what do we have? Nothing really important. We do have this weekly high up here. We could honestly mark this out. We already took out the previous week's high. So on the daily, this is where it comes into play. You can see that the daily is in bullish order flow. We broke structure to the upside. And what do we have? This daily high, which was that weekly wick I showed you guys. So this daily high right here. And what else do we have? Previous day high. Boom. So these are both strong buy side draws in liquidity that could be relevant for the day if price wants to push aggressively. What do we also have? Previous day low. So if price wants to dump down, that is going to be a pretty heavy, far away, but still valid sell side target. What do we have on the 4 hour? Price is delivering out of a 4 hour gap. If price continues to respect this gap, I'm bullish. Trades through it, I'm bearish. Okay, simply put. Going over to the 1 hour. Okay, what did we have? We had some consolidation, followed by this sell-off right here. We're starting to show some recovery. So if price wants to continue to trade lower, what can I look for? I can look for these lows right here, and then obviously we have that previous day low. Those are going to be our main draws. You can start dropping down to the 15. We also have these 15-minute kind of like relative equal lows. We also have this 15-minute gap, but I'm more so concerned with the hourly and stuff like that. And then up here, what do we have? This high from pre-market. Is this news? Yeah, so we have a data wick right here from CPI. So if price wants to trade higher, what am I looking at? Okay. Price trades higher above this 15-minute gap. You can mark out this 15-minute gap right here. Price trades above this gap. I'm bullish towards that highs, previous day high, and those daily highs up there. If price comes into this 15-minute gap, starts to reject, go lower, what am I looking for? I'm looking for these lows, this 15-minute unfilled, and then these lows, whatever. Okay, so let's go to the 5 minute, kind of see what it wants to do. Okay, taps the 15-minute, boom, perfectly, comes down, sweeps out those 15-minute lows. Same thing here. We're back in that gap. We'll have to see what happens here. We trade through the gap, okay? And eventually we push towards data high, obviously a little bit later in the session, and we trade towards that was previous day high. And let's see if it does end up going to those other highs. Maybe not to that day, but anyway, regardless, the price comes up. What does it do? Market opens up, wicks into this 15-minute gap. You could have looked for shorts down to these 15-minute lows. From there, it sweeps those lows. You're saying if it displaces past them, then you're looking for continuations. Otherwise, you're looking for potentially longs. You could catch a long here. If price trades above this 15-minute gap, you're flipping bullish and you're looking for continuations towards the data high and the previous day high. That's literally it. You're just waiting, setting conditions. You're marking those important draws and you're waiting for price to trade towards them. And whenever we sweep out a low or a high, you should be thinking, I'm only going to be looking for a reversal if we get a strong displacement to the upside, strong shift in order flow. That's the only way. Otherwise, I should anticipate that we could displace lower and continue to the next draw. So that's it for me, guys. Want to knock out this quick video, how I mark out my charts every single day and how I find my draws. This is why I don't come into the day with a strict bias. I'll have like a kind of bias, like where I kind of think the market's going to go, but I never rely on it. I always am willing to trade either way, and I just look at what relevant draws are, and I wait to trade towards those. So that's it from you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.